guys? It's Cornbread's Kitchen. We back at it with the spare ribs. Our last cook was a brisket. It turned out okay. It turned out good in my book. So we're gonna work on these spare ribs now. We're gonna do a low and slow smoke on them. And we're gonna roll straight pecan today. That's my favorite wood if y'all haven't caught on yet, but all we run is pecan. I got a little bit of hickory there, but mostly pecan. So today we're gonna cook a slab of St. Louis style spare ribs. Tyson, ain't nothing fancy. Then we're gonna cook a full slab of spare ribs as well. Only difference is the breastbone isn't cut off of the full slab, and the St. Louis slab breastbone is cut off. So that's really the only difference. You're gonna pay for them to trim that breastbone as well. We got $3.14 a pound instead of $1.97 a pound for a full rack of spare ribs. So it's a price difference if you want to do the trim yourself. If not, hey, spend that little extra money. But today we're gonna do a cook on it, and I get right back at you. Hey guys, we're gonna start with our St. Louis style rib today. And you know, first step first is always get the ribs out the package. So we're coming out of the package. And right here, we have the skirt meat, which isn't good. It kind of hides rub in there. If you rub it, it's funky, so we're gonna trim it. And once we have that trimmed, it's a lot of debate on membrane or no membrane, but today we're gonna roll with the membrane on because we have a lot of fat behind that membrane inside of that rib that we want to keep there, so we can have the most tender rib as possible. And at the same time, we're gonna come down here and find this first bone, and we're gonna trim right after that first bone because anything after that will burn up during the cook. And you can use that for whatever you want. I never use them, you know, but I know a lot of people grind them up or they make stock with it or however you deem fit. We're gonna just come clean up just a little bit. Ain't gotta do really too much. I know a lot of people score the spare rib as well, but we're gonna keep it together because there's a lot of fat behind there. So we want that fat to render during our cook. So we're gonna flip over. We can maybe just trim up a little bit, make it look a little more presentable. Square them up. Square them up, and that's a nice slab of rib in my book. Trim a little bit of that fat off of there, just a little bit, guys. That's a pretty rack of ribs right there in my book. All right, guys, we are rolling with a simple seasoning. I make my own. I kind of like, I guess I do half, 2 parts black pepper, 1 part seasoning salt. I like Lowry's, in my opinion, and I like that coarse black pepper. Get this from Sam's Club. But all we do is mix them, shake them together, and that's it, because you don't want too many rubs hiding the flavor of the actual pork. And at the same time, that coloring that the rub has, that pit will give that to you, and give it to you way better. However you want to cook them is how you gonna cook them, but hiding it and seasoning is not really good. Let that meat do its talking, let the smoke do its talking, and then a little bit of salt and pepper would be good on the palate as well. All right, guys, we also have a simple binder as well, apple cider vinegar and water. We don't need all that nasty mustard, slathering it everywhere, getting it all nasty. So all we're gonna do is start on this back side. We're gonna spray on down, and we're gonna come in. All right, technical difficulty, guys. We're gonna come in with our rub like that. Came a little too heavy on that side, but it's all right. Come on this side. We're gonna spritz. We're gonna come over there just like that. Not too much, but just enough, even coat. All right, guys, now that's a seasoned slab of rib right there. Ain't too much. We're gonna let the smoke do most of the seasoning on this bad boy. And what we got next is our slab of spare ribs. All right, guys, we got our full slab of spare ribs right here. So we have basically the same rack. We just don't have that breastbone on our St. Louis style. That's really all. Then we got all this skirt meat right here. We got this piece of skirt meat as well. So we got 2 racks today. My wife, she wanted rib tips, so I said, baby girl, I cook them for you. So we're gonna come on down, trim up this skirt right here. Once that's trimmed right there, we're gonna come down here, find that first rib. We're gonna come like that right there. That's gonna burn. We're gonna come right here. We're gonna trim up as well. Just like that. We're gonna make a bit of a square. That's what we're gonna do. We got our breastbone right here. We got plenty of fat on this bad boy too. We're gonna leave the membrane on like we did St. Louis style. We're gonna cook these pretty much the same. Only difference is we got that breastbone and we have our rib tips attached as well. On this side, we really ain't got too much trimming to do. Straight right here, we square right here, and we square right there. So we're, all right, that's money to me. All right, guys, we're gonna apple cider vinegar binder, apple cider vinegar water, a little much right there. We're gonna come over the back side. Just simple rub right here. We're gonna flip this puppy over. We're gonna come back over, spritz that side. We're gonna come back over with our simple salt and pepper right there, man. You can't beat that. You know, a lot of people say just salt and pepper. I'm telling you, complements the smoke in the meat so well. You don't need a lot higher than that pork. And that's your seasoned rack of spare ribs. All right, guys, we got our ribs right here. So we're gonna walk on around to this big old pit. We got it warm. We got it hot. We got it hot 250 on this end. We 200 right there. We're gonna put our ribs right smack dab in the middle. We're gonna go low and slow for about the first hour. Get some smoke on that meat. Get it right and get it tight. All right, guys. We are on the pit. All we're gonna do is put these spare ribs, we're gonna put them bone side toward the fire. This slab, and then we're gonna put this slab right here beside it. We're gonna back them up just a little bit, guys. And as we cook, we're gonna see the bone start showing right here, and that's what you want. You want that meat to scrunch up. It's a more fulfilling bite once it's finished. It's awesome. I'll show y'all what I'm talking about. All right, guys, fire management as well is an important aspect of cooking. Seasoning, you know, cleanliness, all that, but fire management. If you don't got fire management, you're not upset cooking. So right here, I broke my coal bed down. I got my 2 top logs and I lined them up, diagonally. And I'm just gonna come with some of this preheated wood right here, come over the top, 2 pieces, and then 1 up the top. And in my opinion, that should catch pretty fast. I'm not gonna stick my hand in there, guys, because it is hot. that, guys? Almost instantaneous. And that's what you want. You want that wood to catch. You don't want time period of smoking. You don't want smoldering. You want a clean fire so you can bring the most clean meat out of there. You know, clean tasting, not over smoked, not bitter, nothing like that. That's what you want, guys. All right, guys, we got our Lincoln log built in there. Everything is catching wonderfully. We had our wood already preheated, so when we come on, like I said earlier, instant fire. So while that's steaming up, we're gonna let the smoker get to ideal temp, 275. We're gonna close the dampener just a little bit, ease it closed, and we're gonna get our temperature exactly what we want for this cook. And we will be right back at you. All right, guys, we are about an hour into our cook. We're gonna take a little peek at our ribs. Okay. Got a little bone showing right there. Got a little bone showing. See that right there. Getting a little color as well. Getting decent color on our spare ribs as well. I also added a water pan in here, guys. Water pan adds humidity to the smoker, and it all around helps lock that direct heat coming off that smoker. Also added a couple of pork chops in the back. They looking all pretty. Just getting that smoke on today, guys. As you can see, they're getting a good color on them. I swapped out my big rack and put my big rack in front of my smaller rack, but they're all cooking on time. All we got in this bottle is apple cider vinegar and water, and that's just to keep the moisture on the meat, prevent drying out, which our water pan is doing a great job of, but will never hurt to help. Be back right at y'all in about an hour. Hey guys, we on the third hour of this smoke. Ribs are looking pretty good. Getting a decent bark on as well. We got our bones showing a little bit on this slab as well. Looking good to me. I think we're gonna keep on rolling the smoke. We're gonna add a little spritz in there. Add a little spritz. Add a little moisture. Let that smoke keep on talking. All right, guys, we're back after a 4-hour smoke on that 250-gallon pit. I think we were running in between 225 and 250 the whole time, and made a beautiful bark, beautiful color. I'm telling you, it did. I can't even put words on it. Beautiful. So we're gonna take a couple slices and see how tender. I want y'all to see the flap on that joker too, and you see that splitting? It's wanting to just come apart. That's tender right there, boys. Woo-hoo. Yes, sir. They still a little hot, y'all. Yes, sir. We're gonna take us one more cut. Ooh. Man. Now this is no wrap ribs. We ain't put no foil, no butcher paper. We ain't gonna cheat like that, okay? And you see that? Yes, sir. See that juice running out? That's clear. And we see the hiding, how it hit on that bone, scrunch that meat up. That's what you're looking for in the rib. I guess the only thing we can do is taste test. Yeah, that's money. It's a little hot, but that's good right there, man. That is good. That membrane really helped in keeping that fat in and keeping that meat as tender as possible. So that's right. So guys, we have the spare ribs on as well. We're about to go run and take them off, and we're gonna see how they cut as well. Hey guys, we got this rack of spare ribs off now. Beautiful bark, beautiful color, smells amazing. You see this hide right there? I love to see that. That's showing good heat. It's cooking hot. Ain't cooking too bad. The ends are not burnt. I know y'all see that right there. That's no wrap ribs right there, man. You don't need no wrap. As tender as can be. We're gonna flip over as well, and you see how the membrane, you know, come off with your finger. It's not gonna inhibit you eating the rib, so that's good as well. These spare ribs, we're gonna find this little bone right here. That's the breastbone. We're gonna come right behind there. We're gonna come with this cleaver. And separate our rib tips. Now that's clean right there. See a good smoke ring. Juicy. Tender. You can't beat that right there, man. That's money right there. All right, guys. We at the end of this cook. We just cut off our rib tips. They looking nice and pretty and tender, as we seen in the last clip. Now we have a slab of St. Louis style ribs. So we're gonna take a couple cuts and look at our smoke ring. And we talked in the last clip about how the membrane cooked good as well. So we're not having that trouble of membrane being too tough. You know, that fat stayed inside, so it cooked and helped the meat get tender as well. So we're gonna take us a cut, dead center. Spare rib can be a little tricky with the bones running, but it's a good looking rib to me, man. Woo. Now that's no wrap right there. Hey, come on now. That's no wrap right there. And that's money, dude. All right, guys, you see, we got a clean bone. You know, these ain't competition ribs where you want to stay on this, that. I like tender ribs. I like good ribs. I don't like mushy ribs, though. I like a firm, you know, stays on there, but you can pull it off at the same time. Tender to the bite, flavorful. You know, I taste the pork, I taste the smoke, I taste the seasoning, I taste everything around. Everything is in balance. So we also have on this end the thicker side to it, and we're gonna take a couple slices of that as well, just to see a visual of our smoke ring. Look like some beef ribs we cutting into. Ooh. I think that cut was a little fatty right there, but it's all right. Right there. Yeah, I think them dino ribs right there. But you see that pretty smoke ring on both sides. We got even cooking going on inside our smoker. But man, this is money to me right here. We got it tender, ain't mushy, but perfect, man. I'm happy with this cook. Man, that's what I'm talking about, man. God is good. So folks, this is my rib cook. I thank y'all for staying to the end, and let me know what you guys would like me to cook next, and just keep on like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you folks later.